First and foremost, here, we'll get back here. Really, how to successfully run a booth is one, understanding who your audience is or what in which you're going to be doing and or where you're going to be showcasing. Dylan, Duquesne, and I will be talking through different methods and how you can do this. And so you first really need to look at you, your business, and what you want to get out of this. And you might be able to answer a couple different questions, whether, it's to sell a bunch of product, which means you might need to change in how you get product, right? So you might need to purchase a large shipment, have stock or inventory so that you have it at the event. So you're selling it to individuals at the event. Or maybe you just want to show one of each product, showcase it, and sign people up and let the company put them in the system. And then we send them the product and then they get integrated, excuse me, into our newsletters and what have you. So there's a couple different ways in which you can do that. And so we're
Can
going to,
I
yes,
add
please.
one other thing, Patrick, just because I know you've really been pushing this in Clayton, but another type of event you could be doing is just to get people's contact information where you might not even be focused on sales. You might only be giving out samples, and in order to get the samples, you have to give their email. But remember, now you all have NowSite, which I know Patrick has really pushed the community using. But now with NowSite, getting social media information and emails is really big because then you can do outreach on that. And as somebody who likes anything free, I will give my email out for free stuff all the time, which I know I'm sure a lot of you all know people that way too. So that's all I had, Patrick.
Great. So I think that you really need to take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I want to get or what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? Now, when we look at a booth, we're also looking at one, where's our core demographic at, right? Where do we have a decent amount of community? I'm going to refer a lot to like what we just did and what we're currently doing. So we're getting ready to go to London, and by far, I know that many of you, this is our largest event ever. Um, Last year was our record year. I mean, we sell every bit of $26,000 worth of product at this event. This year, I'm projecting to do anything north of 30. Um, that's a big event. Predominantly, if we do like a local or a smaller event, it could be a couple $1,000s worth of an event. Or a local farmers market where we just have a normal 10 by 10 booth set up. And when I say 10 by 10, I'll go through that. I have slides that are going to show you what an actual booth looks like or how you can showcase that. But first, what I want you to know is what's at your disposal in terms of marketing assets that you can utilize if you're just let's just say you're going to a Christmas party and you want to do something where you're handing out zero in to people that might be drinking, etc., or you want to hand out brochures. The documents tab is probably, and I've said this on many, many, many calls, is, one of the things that I'm the most proud of because it was really something that was created off of just a conversation when I first joined the company. And it's grown into something where Dylan is really managing and making sure that we're staying up to date, but building that out anytime we launch a new product. It's our goal to really have the information in there first and to update each and every one of you. What you can find in the documents tab is really brochures in any different language that you're looking for, um, items in which you can download and then transfer or send to a printer, whether you want to print out a backdrop for a booth, and we'll go through what those are going to look like. You can print out a sticker that you can use to put on a zero in so that when you're handing out zero in, you can update and add a QR code. We'll talk a little bit about QR codes in a little bit, just so that everyone understands how that is beneficial. You have dosage guidelines, you have marketing cut sheets, you have a how to use the document so that you can give that to somebody if they purchase product or if they get product from you when you're at an event. This is one of the tabs where you should go and look at it and see what you are trying to accomplish. And to Duquesne's point, maybe it's just a bunch of emails that you want to compile, and you're going to use Now Site to communicate with them, or those customers, excuse me, after the event takes place. It would behoove you, I think, to do both if you are selling at an event, right? So maybe somebody comes, they purchase, you take their information, depending on where you place them, if they're in your direct downline or if they're down below, you might not be able to get their email. So it's going to be beneficial to have maybe a sign-up sheet to where you're going to be following up with them with some sort of an email campaign or just an educational purpose email that's going to then bring them into your groups. I know many of you have a Telegram channel, a Facebook group, a WhatsApp group. This is a way in which you can invite them to a group that's going to onboard them correctly. Dylan, I saw you unmuted yourself. I want
I
to.
just want to mention all these are to your benefit. I did see a question I kind of want to talk about. We talked about it last week too. The brochures do have a QR link without any codes. So there is no referral link on the QR code that is going to that, but it does link to our website. What we've seen a lot of people do and what people have done in the past is they've made stickers that they put on those brochures that they print out themselves, and the stickers will have their own QR codes. Or you could just write your code on the brochure, but we do have to have the QR code on the brochure so that way, in case someone else who does not want to link it can just hand a normal brochure to the customer.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. And then the other thing, Nurse Chrissy, just to stay on time, and say, can you put your question in the chat and let Dylan answer it, and so that we're just breezing through this? I want to try and make this call about 45 minutes. That being said, QR codes are really to your benefit. And you guys, when you download that brochure before you send it to print, you can edit that and change the QR code. You can block it out and add your own. It's really, really simple to do that. You can Google how to add a block or how to change an image on that brochure so that you can maybe use the link generator that we've developed for you in your back office and create a new link regardless of that's predominantly for your referral code. I think the documents tab is one of the most underused and undervalued asset that we have and that we've provided for you. All the information is there. You just have to figure out how you're going to utilize that for your business. Okay. So as you can see, I've put up a couple different ideas, not ideas, the files that we have that are in the back office that are under the ambassador marketing assets. You will see that this one up here on the right-hand side is a new one. We just updated that for our booth. That showcases all of the new products. It has them laid out a little bit differently. And so that file should be getting updated today at some point when it's able to be downloaded. So you'll see here in the middle, that is the file layout for a tablecloth. And so I wanted to show, and I'll have some images, which I know a lot of you have already seen some of the images about how a booth looks. But most of what we do as a company is a 10 by 20 booth. And what I mean by that, it's a 10-foot by 20-foot section. And so what we've done is each one of these panels is about 10 feet long and 8 feet high. And so what we create when we're at an event, excuse me, is almost like an L. And so I will specifically make sure, or Dylan, when we're plotting out where we want to showcase the booth, a really good area that's going to work well. And so you'll see in some of our pictures that I'm going to show to you, areas in which maybe a booth is a 10 by 10 and we have somebody on either side of us. And so we'll put up panels so that it creates like a little bit of a box or like a U, or some areas in which where we're wide open with a 10 by 20 with extra room that's going to allow entry for people to come into the booth and feel like they are comfortable to come in and talk to us. Because one thing that you'll notice at an event is that people want to feel and touch and look at the products, look at the labels, grab a brochure, and talk to you. And so you'll see in some events where I have there's high tops instead of low tops, like just a table, so that you can really interact with the customers It's easy for them when they're looking at maybe like your computer. You'll see at some events, I've also brought iPads so that it's easy to go on and look at some images of the products or register. These are just samples of which you can use if you want to go that route. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to use a panel or a booth. And we'll get into like options, you know, like Dylan and Duquesne, they did a horse event and they only had a Bill and Coo tabletop cloth. And they had, I think, a banner, like a pop-up banner. So the possibilities are endless in what you can utilize. We've just given you some ways that are approved from corporate that you can send to a local printer or a print shop and print those out. We are working right now with the potential of creating an order sheet with a printer that we use, that we will put our stamp of, yes, this is an approved asset or item that ambassadors can use. So I'm trying to work with a printer and that can ship worldwide, where you can send them an email with the order sheet and they will then send you the products and then you will be charged for those products. That is something that's kind of on my agenda that I've been working through. I'm just trying to figure out, one, a list of items, because I know a lot of you like this jacket, like, or coffee cups or coffee mugs, t-shirts, hats. We want to come up with really like, this is our brand approved item, and you guys can order that and send it to you so that you can use it, because we want to support you. We don't want to say you can't print anything, but we also need to make sure that the way in which the brand is being represented is approved. So hopefully you guys understand that. So that's something that we are working on. So before I go forward, Dylan or Duquesne, I just want to check in, make sure you guys are good. Moving at a good pace. Great. I see a thumbs up. I see Duquesne's probably working on something else while he's listening. Here are some ideas for really what a small booth looks like. And it made me laugh because when I was building this deck, you can see right down here, this was our first showcase at the Mind Body Spirit event, which was 3 years ago. And you can see the panels. This was really a new venture of events. And we've grown so much. You can also see, here's a small 10 by 10 booth that we did in Malta, where we were at an event really just using 2 panels. And then this is the event right here where you see this strapping young man named Dylan. That is basically just a small event where, it was at a horse show. And so you can see the stables behind Dylan in that arena there, where he just has a tablecloth. He has some of the booth set up, some products on the tabletop, and they're also serving coffee at that event where they were sampling Rom Roast. You'll see here on the top left-hand side, Dr. Ram is introducing the brand to somebody. So that was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in New York. And you can see we literally just have this shelf as an area that we were able to utilize. So there wasn't really like a whole lot of area where we can showcase the products. It was more so just the gifting of when we're handing like a gift bag or pulling products out and showing it to somebody. So again, working with what we have. And then the other aspect right here, this was what we did at last year's Mind Body Spirit. So we had an extra booth that we utilized as like a marketing ploy, and you can kind of see that it says this way to find greatness, and the arrow was pointing to our booth, which was I'll show you in a couple slides where the larger booth was. And so we had, ambassadors that were hanging out around that area that were kind of pointing people to come to the other booth. It was just really a marketing initiative that was really just kind of an extra landscape that we were able to utilize.
I have a few things, Patrick.
Go.
So I get this a lot from different ambassadors and people in the community, is that they think a lot of these events we go to seem like they would be very expensive to get into. And that is true for some. So Mind Body Spirit is a little bit more expensive, but there are plenty of events that are $100 to set up a booth there. Dylan, how much was the horse show that we went to? I know that was a cheaper one we had done.
So yeah, that was actually what I was going to talk about. That horse show one was a $450 total event, and it was a 2 day
Split it,
event.
and we split it between three of us. So that was actually something Dylan and I had done on our own time, not a work event. Um, so if you get with a couple of ambassadors, and Dylan's really good at doing this, and helping others do it, it can be very affordable. Um, Dylan, I know you probably had a few other things to add.
Yeah, I just want to say too, the events you go to. So we went to the horse show and it was a learning experience, but we assumed we could only sell Bill and Coo because it was an animal type of event. But after the first day, we had more people asking us about the coffee and asking us about the human grade products. So whatever event you go to, it might not seem like it could fit the type of products we have, but trust me, with how wide our ranges of products, no matter where you go, whatever the event might be, I promise you that our products would sell very well. We sold a couple $1,000s of just products, all the products at the horse show event, which was mind blowing to us because everyone wanted the zero in, getting back my youth, and restore.
Did you sell that much? Jesus, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't know
And
that.
then just another message, by saying you'll do free coffee at an event, a lot of times you can get discounts.
Yep.
Um, just so you all know, that was a 2 day event. We went through only 3 bags of coffee and served, because we were doing smaller cups, and we served probably 150, 200 people coffee, Dylan. I mean,
Yeah.
and again, all I did was buy a 3 pack, and I brought more coffee, but we only used 3 bags as, giving out free samples. So use that when you're talking with events. Offer up, hey, I can do free coffee, or we can do some other samples.
Mhm.
Um, you a lot of times will be able to get discounts because events want that at their place. It draws more people to their place.
Duquesne, I
And then,
completely forgot about that, and I should have put that in here. That's a great point. So that
Gotcha.
biohacking event that Gary Brecka spoke at, that booth would have cost us $15,000. They gave it to us for free because we gave them coffee to brew and serve at the event. So we were the coffee sponsor of the event, and we got a free booth and obviously a free coffee bar just because we gifted them coffee to brew.
and then
So
I don't want to spend too much time to let us keep going, but I do want to say, yes, we do have 0 1 samples. I made it my own card, the So Duquesne. We can talk about that later on, but we always try to give out samples to draw people to the booths. And that's really helpful for direct to consumer, so customer sales. But when you're at these events, one thing I want to tell the ambassadors too is one of the best things you can do is go talk to the other booths and other businesses and talk to them and try to find a way to connect the root brands to their business. We actually probably get better sales at smaller events to business owners because they want to try to help their company by giving them our products, or they want to try to sell our products through their businesses and make the commission on their sales. So there's always opportunities to branch out and not just do consumer, but also businesses.
And look, I know that we're talking about sampling coffee. You don't need to go and buy a $400 DeLonghi machine to brew coffee. You can do cold brew, right? So you can prep it 2 days before the event, do a pour over or however it is that you're brewing coffee, put it in a growler and just keep that in the refrigerator and serve coffee cold over ice. There's so many other different opportunities. Or if you have a hot plate, right? Like some of you might have a hot plate where you can keep coffee warm. There's different opportunities, and we're not giving you like, this is what you should do. It's really, these are ideas that help you think of things that you can do. So I really wanted to talk a little bit about expanding because a lot of times when we're in a local area doing an event or a booth, we get, especially Dr. Ram and Clay, more so Dr. Ram, but definitely Clay, we get hit up by local news channels um, about doing a broadcast or doing a special. Like, the one on the left is in Austin. Obviously, the one on the right is in New York. And these were just piggybacked on top of other events where we were showcasing. but just a different opportunity for us to get the community understanding that we were in town at this event and that they can come visit us at the event. I know that some of you have already done this in some of your local areas. I know a lot of you have done it in Germany. But the point of showing you this slide was to really show, so this is Clayton pouring a cup of coffee, and you can see how we've presented some of the products. We presented the gift bags, we presented the books, the bags of coffee. We have some of the coffee logo there. You can see Rom Roast powered by Root. And it's really just a way to showcase how you can show the brand off and be successful by talking about it. You can even see like this one on the right, it's literally just restore and clean slate. There's a give me back my youth bottle right there. Nothing really too intricate. It's more so just introducing the brand, letting people know that you're in the town or you're in an area or you're showcasing at a booth or in an event. And it gives you means in which where you can talk about the products and have more exposure. This is also a good opportunity to say, if you're interested to find out more, the link is below, or, you can give the link to the news article or the news station, and they can put it on a ticker, kind of like how they have behind Dr. Ram here. This is not something that we do because we're just telling people to go to the website. It's more so for you about particular, special newscasts or news interviews. There's news everywhere, and they're looking for stories in which they can print or they can talk about. So if they're at a local farmers market or they're at a once in a year like beer fest, it's a good idea for you to go there and try and create conversation or relationships so that they're interviewing you about the products. So I know that we've talked a lot about like the Oscars, the Critics' Choice, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I showed you a picture of. I just wanted to show you, we were really just not knowing what we were going to be given for an area of how we're going to showcase the products, but we made it the best that we could. So on the left is the Oscars event. On the right is the Critics' Choice. This is what we did with the gifting. You can see we have some of the products on display here before this cute little girl was showcasing off Zero In. We have the coffee on both of the areas where we were brewing cups of coffee for people that were coming by. Really, this is just to help you understand how we're changing the event. And the way that this event is that celebrities are being walked through and they're kind of being introduced while you're in your area. You literally have 1 minute to 30 seconds to pitch or to tell them about the product. And then you're really kind of getting a photo with them, giving them a gift bag, and then sending them off. More so, this is just to show like some display options. I think this event was pretty cheap. We just rented those 2 stands where you see the arches and the gift bags, and they came through and we gifted away some product. This is just an opportunity for you to see some different ideas that you can utilize. So I wanted to talk a little bit about larger style booths because I know that we had discussed 10 by 20 is really the size. So the picture on the left is from Marina Vogel, who did a beauty event. And I was actually looking over the weekend and this morning some of the images, and I couldn't find them in some of the chats because I know a lot of you have done some really, really good job not only showcasing the brand, but showcasing or representing the brand in a really, really positive way. And so I was able to grab a couple photos, and this was the only one. And you can see here that what Marina did was really just take some product imagery off of the website, which I think she did a fantastic job with this event. And from my understanding, they had a really successful showing. They focused predominantly on beauty because that was what the event was for. But you'll see pictures of Renault. You see some of the other product line that we have there on the left-hand side of that picture. And then Give Me Back My Youth as well. The picture on the right is an event that we did in Austin, and you can see the Detox girls are there in that photo. And this is something where we were given a 10 by 20, but because I selected an end cap, we were able to expand our booth to probably about 15 by 30. and you can see you have the tabletop cloths, you have a couple high tops, we had a TV that was running a couple commercials and informative information about the products. This is kind of like our 3 panels. You can see this is the panel that of the booth that we just updated. Some of these pop-up banners, that's what that looks like. Really just another way that we're showcasing at an event. Dylan, I'm sure you're looking at the chat. I see that kind of going off on that. Great, thank you. This is really just a way to show you how, if you do have those panels, or if you do have a large real estate, how you can fill that and not make it feel so tiny, or make it feel really welcoming and inviting. Dylan has a really good knack for, when he's at an event, understanding really where to put the tables, because you really want people to feel like they can come up if they don't want to talk to you and pick up, excuse me, presentations or brochures or just information. But some people want to come into the booth and actually talk to you. And you can see right here behind Shanna, we have a display where all of our products are there and on display for people to look at, touch, and feel. Yes, Dylan.
I was gonna say too, when you have larger booths like that, someone made a comment of it too. It does get overwhelming when someone's looking at a whole product line, especially one as extensive as our line. So when you do this, the more open it is, I think the more inviting it is for the person to glance through the products and not feel like they're being overbearing and it's not too much for them to take in. Also, when you're doing these booths, try to do a sales pitch of 1 to 4 products and see what the customer is like trying to buy, and try to gauge how you're talking to help what their needs would be. Don't just go through every single product, because that would take forever and no one would want to buy anything if you just sit there for 15 minutes talking about every single product we have.
Couldn't agree more. Know your
And
audience and know what they're coming up to. Yes, Duquesne.
and just adding on to that, with it being overwhelming, that is true. It does get overwhelming. That is where having a group comes really in handy. Not doing an event just on your own. So that could be partnering with other ambassadors. That could be bringing family. Again, we've seen a lot of success with ambassadors partnering with each other. Bring somebody that you get along with, obviously, and have a system in place for how you're going to split up signups, whether it's every other or whoever's doing the first conversation gets it. But I will say, partnering up with other people and having 2 to 4 people at an event, I think, is very helpful.
Yes. And so that being said, which leads me right into, so this is our London Mind Body Spirit event. This is what the booth looked like last year. You can see we have very minimal products on showcase, products up on top for people to touch and feel. Really knowing your audience is probably the best. When you're knowing what your audience is interested in, you don't want to throw up on them, right? So they might come to the event and you might feel more inclined to talk to them about zero in. The other thing that I want to make sure that we set a precedence for is that nobody should be talking about the comp plan when you're at an event like this, when you're at any event. I try to say this and scream from the mountaintops. I never, ever, ever talk about the incentivized process, which that is of the comp plan. I'm only showcasing the products. I think maybe 2 times that I've brought up that there is an incentive or a comp plan attached to this, because you don't want people to get the wrong impression when you are introducing the products. Because for those of you who have been with us for a very long time, it is a throwing up on when you're showcasing our products to somebody, and you have to be very cognizant of talking about a particular array of products. We always are talking about what makes the company, showcase funds, what do we sell the most of? Clean slate. What makes the biggest impact? The Trinity. Focus on that. I don't keep it simple, stupid is really like the easiest analogy to go off of. Keep it very simple. And that's why we are so successful when we go to an event, is because we keep it tailored to that event.
I was going to add one thing too with that. Um, Someone just said, what questions do you ask to get topics for the 4 subjects? Knowing the event that you're at, I was typing it up, I realized it'd be easier to say it. Knowing the event you're at and simply asking them, what are you searching for? What, because if someone goes to an event and it's a health or biohacking event, they're in that space to make themselves healthier. So if you ask simple questions like, what have you taken before? What's ailing you? What could we help you with? And trigger responses from them that can pinpoint what you might want to tell them about products. And then one thing I will say is the more you know about products in a better way, the better you can talk about it. If you simply know that, getting back to my youth as college and class for a minute, that's a good talking point, but someone's going to ask you why they should spend money on our products. The more you can answer questions yourselves, the better it's going to be selling. Because people want to buy things from people who are genuine, and it's all natural conversation with someone who seems intelligent about the products.
Awesome. Thank you, Dylan. So, things that you can use or handouts. So I just pulled these from our back office. This is our brochure, obviously on the left and the right. I put the zero in sample image on there. I know that many of you have printed out stickers, created your own stickers. I see Claire on my first page. I know that she's used stickers for things. Using stickers or QR codes and putting together your own samples to gift to somebody is a really good way to get them to try the product. Zero in is probably what I say and time again is that our most tangible product. And what I mean by that is that everyone on this call knows when you take a zero in or you give somebody a zero in or you have them try a zero in 20 minutes, they're usually like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe I feel this way. Let me buy a box. That being said, when we go to an event, we're predominantly giving out or sampling coffee, which is an immediate feedback reaction because you taste that it's got low acidity, it's got, a really good flavor, and you can taste the notes and the aroma from the coffee. But zero in is usually like go walk around the event and come back when you feel it. And usually everyone comes flying in and they're basically like, let me buy a box. This is incredible. So couple things that I wanted to talk about here is a QR generator. So Dylan was showing what him and Duquesne use as their business card, which has a QR code. And what they do is they staple that to a zero in sample. Now, obviously, Dylan and Duquesne also work at HQ, but Duquesne, show that again, because that's what I wanted to make a point of. Duquesne is literally just taking, so Duquesne buys a box. Yes, he works here and still buys his own products. So do I, and so does Dylan. But what he's doing is he's buying a box of zero in and cutting 2 out of the we call it like the credit card, the blister pack, and he puts it into a cellophane pack with his business card with a QR code. And he just hands those out like it's candy at an event, left and right, left and right. Obviously, there is a cost to doing that because you're buying a box, but the potential outweighs the cost. Also, QR code generator is a website in which you can use your referral code link or the link generator to create a QR code that you are specifically wanting to create. So let's just say you want to send them to the page for Renault. Let's say you want to send them to the page for Trinity. You can create that in your back office. And I know that we've talked about that on past trainings. You also can use Vistaprint for business cards. Dylan informed me this morning, which I did not know, that if you go to Vistaprint to print out business cards, it gives you an option to generate a QR code for you. You just have to tell it what the link is. It's really, really, really simple. Couple notes also that I wanted to bring up on this page is, giveaways really have a way in which getting somebody excited to get something for free, and they would be willing to give you their information, whether it's their phone number or their email. Collecting emails at an event is very, very important. And I think that that's something that we did as a company, not very poorly. and we're changing that and we're getting better to make sure, because our goal at an event is obviously to sell a product. But what we're getting back to is that not everyone is buying product. Maybe they're interested and they need some more information to follow up on. And so we are coming up with drip campaigns that's introducing and educating the consumer or potential consumer on products. Maybe that's an introduction to Dr. Ram and who she is. Maybe that's showing them about what the products are. Let me also remind everyone, you have a little tool that you can use. That tool's called NowSite. NowSite can create a funnel in which you can introduce somebody to that can drop them into a top, bottom, or middle part of their funnel, and you can educate them using all of the marketing assets that we've created for you to utilize. Or you can do what most of you do and just make it up and also create something that looks very genuine to you.
Real quick, just so you all know, because I see the comments already, Patrick already has on our calendar to do a training on email campaigns and kind of drip campaigns later on in the summer. Did you? Yeah, so that is something. I see the questions already, but that is something we are planning on doing a whole training on, because that is probably a 45-minute talk to go over it properly. So you all can obviously message us and we can help before then, but we will have a whole training on that at another point.
And then the other thing that I wanted to also mention is an easy way to get people's information: collect business cards. Put them in a fishbowl. Many of you who were in the corporate world many moons ago remember that, like, if you went to a place for lunch, a lot of times they would have, hey, get lunch for free for your entire office. You just put your business card in there. You know what they were doing with that? They weren't just collecting you to give you a free lunch. They were collecting that to put you in their email campaign so they can introduce to you when they come out with a new sandwich next month, so that you got that email and you came in there. Most of the times they didn't give away that free lunch. So that's just an option that you can do to give away a product at an event and capture leads, potential leads.
We actually did that. Duquesne and I went to a event called the Bio Boardroom, and there's a lot of businesses. And so what we did, we brought everyone to a cocktail bar afterwards and invited. We thought we were gonna have maybe 10 to 15 other businesses come with us, but we had 25, close to 30 people. And what we did was have them write down their information or put a business card into a fishbowl. And we just said, hey, whoever wins this will get a Trinity pack or a Clean Spirits pack. And at the end of the night, we did a drawing. But what that did was it drew up questions for them to ask, what are these products? What are we going to win? So you're already communicating with these people about that. And now you have their email when they're already used to your products.
One thing to add too, if you don't want to actually buy the product to do in a giveaway, a great thing you can do is raffle off funds that you can put in their wallet, because that ensures that they have an account made. So if you don't want to bring the extra product and do that up front, you could say, hey, winner gets $100 for product purchasing or something like that. And then at the end of the event, you can reach out to the person, help them make an account and transfer over those funds. That's a great way to ensure not only are they getting products, but they're also having an account made. So
you can literally take one of our tokens, print that out, put the coupon code on that printout and a QR code that's going to get them to sign up onto your page, so that they know that they have to go register an account. And if they do so, they're getting a $25, $50, $100 token gift card, if you will. So an even better way that Duquesne was saying, or a different way, is you can give a gift card to them, which is a token for us, that you can also monitor and manage to make sure that they are registering their account and they are going to use it. And if they don't, you can take it back and give it to somebody else.
I do want to talk about tokens real quick, since Patrick brought that up. The great point of tokens, and I know a lot of ambassadors have been confused on why we created these. When you tell people you're going to put money in their root wallet, the average consumer doesn't understand that. Like, if I am Bob off the street, I don't know what a root wallet is. But if I tell them, hey, I'll give you a token/gift card, everybody knows what that is. You can give that to them, and if they don't use it, you can turn around and give that to somebody else. that is why we created these tokens slash gift cards instead of just letting people do wallet transfers. Wallet transfers still obviously work perfect if it's somebody in the community and they understand that. But a lot of times outsiders just they don't understand what a wallet transfer means. So using a token, that's a better understood term in like the everyday world. So just wanted to give that info out as well.
And then last but not least, which I know that we've discussed, but this is also just to show another booth setup that, if you will, this is something that Dylan set up at an event where, you know, we had much more ample space. You can obviously see the DeLonghi coffee machine there. You have the Rom Roast banner. Just another way in which you can set up a booth. You can even see, look, Dylan did an ad. He has the skirt, if that's what we call it, on the table here. But this is one of the 6-foot tables that was given to us because we purchased the booth from the actual event. So you don't even need to have a skirt for the table. You don't even need to purchase that. You can just use what's given to you. You know, we also had them add these high tops here, like I said, that are much easier to engage with somebody when they come into an event or they come into your booth space, if you will. A lot of times, many of you might also just be doing a farmer's market where you're just sitting at a table and people are walking by, they're buying their groceries, their vegetables, or organic goods, or eggs, whatever it is a farmer's market that's in your area. That's kind of what we have here. And you're just saying, hey, how are you? Are you interested in detoxing? Are you interested in finding out about how to get the heavy metals out of your body? Whatever it is your pitch. But the means in which that you have are available, because I guarantee that out of 122 people that are on this call, 95 of you know of a local farmer's market that you can literally probably spend $100 to show at, and all you need is a table and a chair and a couple products.
Um, Logistics note, and we learned this the hard way, do not get a white tabletop cover if you're doing coffee because coffee stains it, and we've made that mistake. So if you are brewing coffee, either have a black top or no top and just have a table. We learned that the hard way.
Also, the if you're in the documents tab, I saw this question. I think everyone should know this. The documents tab has a lot of good information, but if you look at ambassador events and marketing assets, that's where you'll find a lot of these banners that Patrick's talking about, the pop-ups, the 10 by 10s, and everything like that will be found in that area. But
Yep.
once again, if you're unfamiliar with that documents page, there are just to go through every single option you have to use would take another 20 minutes on the call. So take some time today and go through those documents.
The last thing that I want to leave with you before we end this call. Hey, Sandy, I see you on my home screen now that I can see everybody. There's 2 different ways in which you can do and really show up great at an event. One, you have an account and you purchase, let's just say 5 of each product, and then you bring that with you to an event. That's one way. But what I need you to understand is that the person that you're selling product to is going to be just lost in the ether. They won't have a root account. They're literally just be buying product from you. There's another way in which where you buy one of each product and it's just showing it as showcasing or samples, if you will, and somebody is interested in purchasing and you are onboarding them, getting them to sign up using your link on your computer, placing the order for them or with them, and then they're put into the root system here as a company. And then you're getting their information, you're creating that personal relationship. A lot of you are nutritionists, health coaches, mentors. You guide people through life. Ways in which you can get somebody is like, hey, I'd love to set up a 15-minute free session with you where I can talk to you about where you're at in life, where you're at with your health and wellness, where you're at with your nutrition, what your goals are. Maybe I can support you with that. And because you are trusting me to purchase products, I'm going to gift you 5 sessions free with me where we're going to evaluate your life. We're going to look at the products you're currently taking and how you can inject these products into your current way of living because I want to help you grow. There are so many ways that you can do things, but I wanted to make sure you understood when you're showcasing products, the one way and the other. That is really why we wanted to have this call, is to showcase it, because obviously when we do an HQ event, we're selling product there and we're also registering them. But for you, your best way is to get them registered using your link and then selling them the product. But it gives you a lot of wiggle room, especially those of you that are RPS members, where you're getting the product or you're ordering the product for that set event, for free shipping, et cetera, et cetera. But that is where you're going to be taking cash for selling a product if they want to take a physical product home with them.
Another thing, and we actually didn't go over this because we can't do this as much, but you all as ambassadors have this access, and I've heard people doing this. But one way to encourage people to, because someone had a comment of like, it's great to have these conversations and meet people, but how do you know they'll go home and sign up the right way? One way to encourage people to sign up at the event is you all can offer things like $10 in their wallet if they sign up there. Or you all can offer things like that of like, hey, if you sign up and purchase today, you'll get a token. Hey, if you sign up and purchase today, I'll put some reward points, wallet points into your account to start so you can buy stuff at discount. So that is a good tool you all can use to help encourage people to sign up at events instead of just giving a QR code and hoping they sign up at home. The more you can get them signed up at the event, the better, or at least get their contact information so you can reach out afterwards.
Also, having their contact information, if you're worried that they're going to leave the event, make sure before they leave, they give you their phone or their email so you can contact them. Because remember, the job of the ambassador is to be the liaison to the new customer to understand the root products. So make sure that they have your contact information. And if they do sign up, follow up with them. Your genealogy has their email in there. So if they don't sign up, get their contact to reach out to them. If they do sign up, make sure you talk to them like what Patrick was saying, drip campaigns, to make sure that they understand the products, they're doing it. Talk to them about RPS, and if they're consistently buying products, maybe 3 months down the line, you find one or two people that are really into root. Then you talk to them about the ambassador program.
Awesome. I know that we covered a lot here and there's still a lot of great questions. We will post this on YouTube for you guys to rewatch. Nikki, I'm sure you got a bunch of questions, which we're going to get to this weekend. I'm really excited to continue this. I hope you guys have found some value with this training. Again, we really want to keep these calls around 45, 50 minutes. Reach out to us. If you have a question, reach out to Dylan or Duquesne or myself. Or if you have a suggestion, put it in the silver or the platinum channel for another call. I'd love to continue to build out our calendar of what we're presenting to you. With that being said, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you taking the time. It's been an honor. We are willing and hope to do nothing but help you grow and help you become a better ambassador to grow your community.
Encouraging you all to bring new people to these calls because there might be some benefits to new people who don't usually attend. I won't say exactly what that is, but I'm sure you all can guess. So next time we do something, bring some new people. There might be some incentive for them coming.
Oh,
Bye, y'all.
bye, everybody.